If you're so interested in a vet quarterback or Baker Mayfield with your quarterback room as is, what kind of indictment is that on Matt Corral? Because if you're scrambling and panicking to add somebody to that quarterback room, what does that say about Matt Corral? What does it say about him? I mean, what does it say about Matt Corral? Matt Corral's been very confident in all his interviews. He's been very confident about his ability. He just says it's mental for him. He said it's his mental. He has confidence in the physical part, but being that he's been a guy that hasn't been in the huddle in college, or a lot of no huddle, or a lot of RPO stuff, has to call plays and memorize stuff. It's a big adjustment knowing the pre-snap reads and stuff.
What has been the biggest adjustment between maybe what you've done in the past?
Really just the details within the play. I mean, there's checks in every play, and just understanding what everybody has in the snap of a finger when it's called. That's just the biggest adjustment because they're telling every single person what to do. So, I mean, it's just much more detailed.
A lot of the knock on Matt Corral was him not being able to scan the field or this, that, or the third, and all this stuff about him being a one-read quarterback because he played in the RPO system. I heard it all. Some people want to start day one. Some people want to sit the whole year. Some people want to sit a couple games until Sam Darnold messes up. If you're waiting on Sam Darnold to mess up before you play him, it may happen sooner than you think. It may have been week one, to be honest. I'm just going to let you know. Nevertheless, the knock on Matt Corral was him not being able to process certain things in a full field reads. That's what I heard. That's what the knock. I mean, I watched Matt Corral. I didn't really see that myself. I'll defer to people that are into the draft like that and say that stuff that perpetuate these narratives. I want to talk about what Matt Rhule said about Matt Corral in terms of him reading defenses and scanning the field. Let's do it.
I think Matt's done a nice job. I mean, I think the way Ben kind of says this, when the ball snapped, Matt's natural instincts are usually pretty right on. Like there was a play today, he went to the left and wasn't there, he came right back to the right. You find a young guy that can scan the field like that, that's really good. The pre-snap is what's getting him a little bit, getting in the huddle, mastering the play call, getting the line of scrimmage, making a protection call, changing the cadence, shifting the motion. It's just different, right? I mean, I think if you polled the guys on our offense that are under the age of like 26, most of them have never been in the huddle, until they get here. So it's just a different world. I think Sam, I saw Sam's press conference yesterday. I think some of you guys asked him that. And I think he said it was just a different world. And so, but I think the arrow's definitely pointed up for Matt. But it's going to take him time.
Look, man, I don't know if y'all heard that, but he said that. Wait, what's the word about one more time?
I think Matt's done a nice job. I mean, I think
listen to it.
The way Ben kind of says this, when the ball snapped, Matt's natural instincts are usually pretty right on. Like
his natural
today,
instincts.
He went to the left and wasn't there, he came right back to the right. You find a young guy that can scan the field like that, that's really good. Matt's natural.
One more time for the people in the back.
Usually pretty right on. Like there was a play today, he went to the left and wasn't there, he came right back to the right. You find a young guy that can scan the field like that, that's really good. The pre-snap is what's getting him a little bit, getting in the huddle, mastering the play call, getting the line of scrimmage, making a protection call. All
right. The naysayer said that Matt Corral can't scan the field. He's one read. He don't scan the full field of reads. That's what the naysayer said. Matt Rhule today said that when you see a young guy that goes from a first read to a second, it's a good sign because he's a young guy that can do that. Wow. It's almost like people are wrong. People were wrong. It's almost like people were wrong about Matt Corral. Maybe in practice. I mean, granted, yes, it's just practice. It's just mini camp. There's no pads on. There's no pass rush. It's not a real game. People aren't trying to hit him. I get all the excuses. But when you practice, perfect practice, listen, man, I ain't going to preach on here. Practice don't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. And so if he's doing this in practice and showing that to the coaches to the point that Matt Rhule is willing to put it out there and say that and talk about him, and Ben saying this, also saying that his first read after pre-snap is pretty spot on. Interesting. Now, obviously, like he said, the administrative stuff, the pre-snap, the play call, getting in the huddle, all that stuff that he never really did in college under Lane Kiffin's system, that stuff is going to come with time. That's the mental part. Even Matt Corral talked about that himself. It's going to come with time and experience. But he's going to work. That stuff you can work on himself. He said he was going to talk in the mirror, run the play calls, take his checks and reads. He's been traveling with his whiteboard. This dude's going to do whatever it takes. He said that himself. They asked him what did he think he needed to do to get ready. He just said the mental part. The mental. Once he gets the mental part, learn the playbook, processing, everything else, he should be fine. He said he had confidence in his physical ability, but he said his mental is just as important to put it all together. And he's got the right mentality, man. He's got the right mentality to be the guy, but when will he be the guy? That's the biggest question.